Welcome back. Well, more CEOs are making employees return to the office and pushing to reset the workplace culture. According to a recent survey, nearly 75% of employed Americans who could do so were working remotely at least some of the time. But that could be changing. And Marcus Lemonis is the CEO of Camping World, joins us here today. And here's a Pew poll. 46% of workers would be unlikely to stay at their current job if work from home was no longer an option. Now, that's from January. Is this just the new way of the world, or do CEOs want everybody back in the office?
Between my Bed Bath & Beyond business and my Camping World business, it's the tale of two cities. When you find accounting folks or people that are in the technology group, you're a little bit more lenient. But other than that, you need to be with consumers. You need to be with your coworkers. You need to be talking about what's happening in the business. We're starting to crack down in all of our businesses saying it's about personal development, professional development, and accountability. And I think that's the piece. That last thing is what people may be shying away from, accountability.
I mean, that's a pretty wild stat. Almost half of the people polled said they'd leave their job if remote work wasn't an option. So it kind of feels like this all started during COVID, right? Everything went remote, and then things went back to normal, but a lot of people never want to go back into the office.
It feels like a bluff to me.
Yeah.
50% of the people who need to pay their mortgage, pay their car payment, pay tuition, are all of a sudden going to be so brazen to say, if you tell me to come to work, I'm going to leave. I think you're going to see more companies start to call that bluff.
Yeah.
I understand that 5 days may not work, but how about some days?
Yeah. I think the other thing is that America has to get very serious about our infrastructure, because commutes are killing people, and that's very difficult. And rents in the cities are expensive. So there's a lot of things going. It's not maybe that you just don't want to be in the office. It's that all these other considerations. But this was also troubling that young men are struggling to find work, even if they have a college degree. Statistics for unemployment rate, ages 23 to 30 with bachelor's degree, it's jumped in recent months to 6%. That's compared to 3.5% for women with the same level of education. What do you think of this?
Well, this comment's going to get me in a lot of trouble. But the
Let's
young
go.
men 23 to 30, what job are they looking for? Are they looking for a job that makes $100,000 a year and they don't have the credentials for it? People are choosing not to go to work because they don't think that the job is right or the income is right. But I remember in the old days, particularly when I came out of college, or any of us came out of college, where you went where the job was and you needed to make a living, pay your bills, get out of your parents' house, and provide for yourself. So I don't know that I buy that people aren't employable. Do they want to be employable?
Well, and to your point about getting away from the parents, this also a little bit concerning. Gen Z apparently relying on their parents to basically get them jobs, and then once they have the jobs, check in with the bosses. Here's a New York Post headline, quote, Gen Z job seekers have their parents write their resumes, apply for gigs, and bring them to interviews. Shocking study shows. I can't even imagine that.
We talked about it last week on Big Money, that this is a phenomenon. I've never seen it happen. I want to meet the young man or woman's parents. I don't want to meet them. I want to meet the parents that think that enabling your child to go through that process is a good thing. Not a good thing.
I remember when I went to college, landline phones, but I called home once a week on Sundays.
Yep.
I checked in, hi, how's it going? And I admire my friends now that have such close relationships with their children. They talk all the time and they're super close. I didn't have that, but I don't know if my parents would have ever taken me to an interview.
Don't confuse a close relationship with dependency. There's a big difference between the two.
All right.
So you've never seen that happen, ever?
I haven't, but I'm looking forward to it. Like when I learned about it last week, I want to be the interviewer to see a child sit in front of me interviewing for a job with their parents.
So your advice, if you're a young man watching, or parents or grandparents of a young man who is out of work right now, is looking for work, what would your advice be to that person?
Go get a sales job. Learn how to sell something. There are jobs available in America, whether you need to be a cashier at Walmart or whether you need to sell RVs at Camping World. Get a job where you can earn a living and start to build up your own.
Because once you learn how to sell, you can do just about anything. That's so great.
Good interpersonal skills, too.
Exactly. And you got to do it from the office.
It's great to have you on set. Thank you for being here. Love your tie.
Thank you.
And you can catch a lot more of Marcus Lemonis when a new episode of The Fixer, it airs tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, and you can watch that on Fox Business. Love the graphic there, too. Looks great.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.